Amazing, karibuni sana tena to the uncensored. And what are we talking about today? The rising cases of divorce in the church and the world at large. And what is informing us on this? And like, what is marriage and what is not marriage, and how do people get married and all these other things? I know I've ever talked about this, on one of my shows, on how can I know unless someone explains to me. And we invited someone, the pastors that we were ready and really dug deeper into what marriage is and all that. But you know what? Things keep on changing each and every time. So we cannot just stick on one thing and say, oh, this is how it is. So what is new? What is new now? What is new now? Why are things happening the way they're happening? Is it because we were never brought up to be in marriage, or what is really informing all these other things? And what is the role that the church is playing in all things that are happening? And what is the role of the what's the role of the heathens are playing in the same? Maybe there are very many things that we can talk about, but I just want to sum up some of these things. Then you have all the liberty in the comment section to type down whatever you feel that we can talk about next. And if you're free to come to the show again, you can come to the show, and we will uncensor everything just as it is as we talk about it and all that. And we are living in a generation where, people don't really consider commitment, or they're not after the commitment in what we call marriage. Okay, we're living in a liberal society, or a liberal generation, where everyone wants to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it, where they want to do it, without accountability. So the thing is, no commitment, no accountability. I just want to rev and live my life as it is. So they say it, YOLO, we always live once, but no. You live once over here, but after this, there's another life on the other end. So, and the other life on the other end is completely dependent on how you live the life that we are living now. I know you'll come up with your own ideologies, and you tell me you've read books. Maybe the book I've read is not enough to inform me on whatever I'm doing, but I'll tell you this. The book I've read, the Bible, has more information on how I need to live in. Man, if you think more and you ask more questions in the Bible than I do, then you're wrong. I ask more questions. I ask God more questions. And the beauty is, He teaches me and He guides me in everything. So when I stand and say about something, I'm so sure about it. If I'm not so sure, I'll keep quiet about it. So why are many marriages breaking up nowadays? I'll start wamping with the raising up, how we were raised up. How we were raised up contributes more on what we really want to become when we grow up. So there are people of grace who are raised up in environments where marriage is not considered something that is, important in life at all. And because of that, then they don't really consider it something that is important. They just live their life the way they want to live it, and that is it. So for them, if you're looking unto them to have a commitment with you in the institution of marriage, then you're wrong. But how can you know this? It's not easy for you to get to understand this just, immediately you meet someone and all that. It's not as easy as it looks. You need to have to live with this person, to stay with this person for a longer time for you to understand them. So during that time, you guys are meeting and trying to talk about this thing. I think these are the things that you guys need to talk about and try to understand. Do they really need this, or are they really working for the same in this? But do we really have that time? Because again, like, the speed that guys we are using to get ourselves into marriage is really, really stunning, And we are making all these mistakes, and we are not ready to correct those mistakes at any point. So, most of the time when you're raised up, like men, I believe we should be raised up knowing that, our parents should raise up us up knowing that we will one day become husbands to some people. Husbands to someone's daughter somewhere. And when daughters are being raised up, or women are being raised up, they should be raised up in a way that, with the understanding that they also become wives to someone's son somewhere. So if we are raised up in that manner, it becomes much easy for us to get to what is right. And when we get there, we have more information and knowledge on how to handle some issues that will be coming over in those marriages. But I believe most of the parents raising up, they never raised up as those people. They raised up as, just grow up, and when you grow up, you get to a level when you understand what you really need and all that. But remember, we are living in a generation where knowledge is more, and everything that is on social media is never true. Everything that is played, every movies that you watch, every videos that you watch on YouTube, those videos, some of them are not true. They're just there to look for views and subscriptions and get money and all that. So ni mboka wase wako. Okay, when I say mboka in English, I mean that it's a gig that guys are looking into. By the way, guys, mboka in English is gig, eh? So at least I've taught you something, eh? Okay, so they're just looking for that, but they're not really minded in a way that they really want to get themselves in marriage. So I'm asking a question: why did you get married? That's the first question you should ask yourself. Why did you get married? And on that, there are very many reasons that people give. There's no one reason that someone will give why they got married. People get married for different reasons. There are those who get married because, you know, we are tired of paying, maybe I cannot afford to pay my bills at a given point, so I get someone who can help me pay the bills and all that. And the reason why we are coming together is because I need someone to help me pay the bills, not because I'm interested or I'm in love with this person and I have a commitment to live with this person for the rest of my life. No. So that reason is not enough to make these people stay together, because when this person gets to a level that they can no longer help you pay the bills and all that, then you find no interest in this person and you lose interest in them completely, and you try to find another person or another place to get whatever you need. So that is not an enough reason for you to get married. And then number 2 reason to get married is I'm aging up and I'm losing it, guys. You know, I'm aging up and I'm losing it. And as per our cultural beliefs and standards, a man of my age should have a wife. Because if I don't get a wife, if I don't get married, you know, if I don't get married and I die, or I go in the other world, that means that I will have no respect in the community. I will never, no one will be ever named after me, because that is a bad example that I get to the community and all that. And if I die, probably where some other people come from, for them to send you with that curse, like this thing will never happen in that family again. Yeah, there is this tone that they that will start in your sitting apparatus, and they are sending you that curse, you know. They're sending you that curse that this will never happen in this family again, because that is what they don't really want. That is as a man. And as a woman, if you're at an age, a marriage age, and you never got married, as much as you had money and all these things that you had, property that you had on this other thing, you never had a kid, you never had a marriage and all these other things, if when you die, there's no one will respect you again. Most of the people are buried besides their, like behind the main, like the compound, then they're buried behind the compound or within the banana plantation, because they don't have that respect. So because of these reasons, and someone is getting to that age, he feels like, wow, really, time is really flying. Like the clock is not with me. Most women will, will look into having kids, just siring kids, but they are not really interested in marriage. So the kid will work as a man, the child will work as a guarantee. If I die, at least I was married somewhere, so there will be that respect and all that. There will be that respect within the community and all that. But there are no there's no commitment or a sense of taking responsibility and making sure that marriage works at all. So that's another reason. Another reason would be, you know, again, I just need a companion, or I need someone to be intimate with. So I cannot be intimate with anything else. I just need someone to be intimate with. But now the commitment is not there, and this is where we will call the contractual marriages some of the free marriages. Contractual marriages, some are free marriages. I don't know if you guys understand, but okay, if you don't, I will make it clear for you. So the contractual marriages is the marriage on contract, you know. I got married to this person, I get married to Esther, and then I stay with Esther for, we get a contract of 3 years. And once the contract is gone, we separate. I get another person, I get another person, I get married to that with a contract and all that. And then there is this other one where, you know, free marriages, we are just in, but everyone is allowed to do his own stuff. But, you know, we live in the same house. Maybe we have a marriage certificate. Maybe we're wedded. Okay, and all that. Then we are just there seated, just doing our stuff. But you're free to do whatever you want. I'm free to do whatever you want. Like, I'm not responsible to you at any point. You're not responsible to me at any point. We are all grown-ups. You know what we are doing. Be safe wherever you're going. Be safe wherever you're going. And let's come back together later in the evening or at night and have a rest, do whatever we can do, and continue with our life as normal. And there's no sense of commitment in that marriage again. There's no sense of commitment in that marriage again. And then everything just loses it off and goes away. So we are there, we're living. but nothing is completely happening in between us. And those are the things that people want, the liberal really wants, and all these other things. Then we got these other things that are coming in. Oh my goodness. My goodness. This is not coming in what we call these guys with the alphabetical letters. From A to Z, or they're just at Q. Sorry. So these guys, then you understand, like, it's not just working and all that. But now when you talk about it, you talk about that on another level, of which I'll call the conspiracy of trying to regulate the population of the world. You get that? So to me, that's a conspiracy of trying to regulate the population of the world. Because if James and James gets married, James and James will never have children. So if James and James will never have children, and James and James grow old, then there will be no lineage in that thing. If Jen and Jen gets married, Jen and Jen will never get children, because it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. Even in the flowers, in the plants world, in the animal world, doesn't happen that way. So it will never have children. So now that generation will go off without another generation that is coming up, because they wasted themselves with whatever they were doing and all that. So the next generation will kill itself. And if we kill this generation, there's no the next generation, then there's no population. So have we been able to censor that? Yes, we've been able to reduce the world population and all that. So all these things are happening. And the way they're happening, there are no people who will stand to say and talk the truth and tell people what's supposed to be done and all that. Should we blame our parents? I would like to sang and say, because your father did not tell you the truth, people were crying for freedom. I just don't know the lyrics of that song, but the idea of that song is, we are where we are because your parents never told you the truth, and my parents never told me the truth. So no one knows the truth. So everyone is trying to find the truth for themselves. But the way we are trying to find those truths for themselves, we are trying to find them in wrong places and wrong people and wrong sources. So the sources are giving us wrong information, and we are vibing up with that wrong information, doing the wrong things, thinking that we are doing the right thing. So who is to be blamed on this? And then number 4, when I say the church should be blamed on this is, there are very many people in the church, okay, with the issue of the white weddings and all, like if you need to get married, you must wed, eh? As a born-again believer, if you want to get married, you must wed. And this one leaves me to ask very many questions, and I know I'm not the only person asking all these questions. There are very many people, young people we've talked to, and they're asking all these questions and all, like, is a wedding a must for someone to go to heaven? If you're a born-again Christian, must you wed for you to be holy and all that? And that's why they call it a holy matrimony, because people have wedded. And I'll say it's not really necessary. Like the white gown wedding is not really necessary for any people who wants to get married. Regardless to whatever church you go, it's not really necessary. It's not really necessary. That is not marriage. That is just a ceremony that you're inviting people to come over and see the two of you walk into the institution of marriage, as they clap for you, as they appreciate you and gift you with whatever they have come with. But now, before you get to that day of doing all these other things, there are other responsibilities that are involved, because you need money to get all these things to get all these things in place. Do we have the money to get these things in place? There are very many people, young people in the church, who really want to get into marriage, but because they don't have these resources for all these weddings, they would rather not get married. But do you believe they're not getting married and they're not meeting each other? Of course. They're not just in marriage, literally in marriage, legally in marriage, as the church, quote unquote church will call it, but these guys are meeting intimately and all that. So is the church trying to promote things that are not okay, a sin? Because these people continue fornicating. We say this is an uncensored people. These people continue fornicating, and they continue doing that because they don't have the resources and the money for them to do the white gown wedding as needed by the church and all that. So are the pastors trying to mess young people in one or the other on this level? Because I believe, if the two people meet and they love each other and they have gone through the counseling and they understand whatever they're getting themselves in, they've talked to the pastor should have blessed these people, as long as the parents involved understand. They have visited the parents and they have negotiated all these other things and they are into it. I think the pastor should just bless people. One of the Sundays, okay, whatever time you meet, whether it's Sunday, on Saturday, whatever, don't really care about when you meet and the day you meet, where you meet, and do that. Whenever you meet and you guys, the pastor should bless these people and let them continue living. Because there are very many people who are aging in the church because they cannot get money for the weddings. They cannot get the money for the budget of the weddings as it's really needed according to different denominations and all that. Because there are standards that have been set. So if you don't meet that standard, then you're not one of us. You should go away. And the same thing in some other churches where you cannot give You cannot give an offering, a coin offering, or a 50 shillings offering, or 100 not shillings offering. That is not their standards. Their standards are greater and higher, and you should meet those standards for you to become one of them. So this is one thing that is sending young people off the church and sending young people outside the marriages, or people not getting married, or you impress someone for the few days with the money that you've borrowed and from friends and all that to get married, but when that money is gone, there's nothing that to be given this person and all that, so they find no meaning in that marriage, and they have to do what? To stay away from that marriage. I think these are just some of the issues, some of the issues, not everything. So we've got people who have people who have those stories and who are willing to come to the show and try to express themselves, and that is what we will be digging deeper into, that because the issues with marriage, they are more personal than we can contextualize them. They are more personal. Like, there's no any blanket reason we can give to justify that this is what happened unto this, unless you listen to the people who are involved. And even those people who are involved, they can still lie to you. They can still cheat. They can still come up with a story to cover the truth, and tell them this is what really happened and all that. So, onto that, there is much that we need to talk about. But remember to subscribe. Remember to hit the subscription button and the notification bell, so that every time we put up something on the Uncensored, we get it as it is. Our YouTube channel has most of the things. We're talking about real life issues, religion, we're talking about politics, we're talking about real life issues, and everything that comes up in updates of what's happening in the world at large, both local and international. So be sure you get everything you need, and I'm assuring you that if I miss out, then you can just text me. And follow me on all my social media platforms. That is Facebook, that's Instagram, that is Twitter, and there is TikTok as Alan Hoy, the best of the best, the voice of the voices, and the best presenter in Africa, East Africa, and the world at large. I love you guys.